How's it going, everybody? It's David the Butcher here.
And your boy Mazzi, what's poppin', everybody?
And we are in the year 1910, which will be our last podcast in the 20th century. How you feel about that?
Very kind of sad, very nostalgic.
Yeah. And you can always go back and revisit just as long as you don't run into your other self. Because, since we already went back there once. So, yeah. And we are on the Titanic, actually, and we're actually out in the ocean. And the ocean's kind of nice, though. It's a nice view, it's a very sunny day.
Yeah, how do you feel about the cruise so far?
I mean, it is pretty nice. I mean, everyone dresses so old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Because it's 1910, obviously, but it's a very nice cruise. I'm not gonna lie.
I honestly don't like cruises. They really scare me because you're out in the middle of the ocean. It's like, what if the floor just randomly collapses and you get eaten by a shark?
Yeah. Yeah, that's I've never really been on a cruise. I mean, it sounds nice, but I've never had that fear though. Like, I don't know, we're never thrilled about going on a cruise.
Yeah, for me, there's like too many people, not enough space.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I have the fear of water, not like swimming, but like you don't know what's under you. It's like weird. You could be like sleeping over the loch. You could be sleeping on top of the Loch Ness monster for all you know.
Yeah. Yeah, or a shark will be right under you. Just imagine you'll be in shark-infested waters.
Yeah.
Flex tape can fix that.
Yes, it can.
Because, Phil Swift was on a boat with shark-infested waters.
Yeah, if you're scared going on a cruise, just put a bunch of flex tape on the bottom of the boat.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm actually glad I'm back here. Because, I've been here and I've been looking into the future. Everybody is panicking about this coronavirus that's going around.
Yeah, I have nothing to worry because, I'm almost 18, I'm not old enough to buy Corona, so technically I can't get the virus.
Yeah, and I'm gonna turn 18 soon, too. In a few months.
If you didn't get the joke, it's because Corona's a beer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I get it. But I've also been seeing a lot of memes about it. On Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Just, I don't know. I'm not really worried. I'm not worried about it at all. But if I wasn't like an elderly person or someone with like breathing problems like asthma, something like that, then yeah, I'd definitely be worried about that. Like, if anything, you should let them get all the groceries and all they need. And at that time, like when it's a time of a pandemic.
I'm more worried about being quarantined and being away from like my best friends and my brothers and I'm just more worried about like being quarantined than it like cold like symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah. So if anything, I'd let the old folks or people with asthma get all they need because they need it more than we do. Like anybody with a very good immune system, I understand if you maybe get something or isolate yourself. I guess you can do that, but if anyone should get it first, it'd be those people like elderly and asthma people. But I've seen people have been going crazy about it too. Like, a bunch of shelves are empty in grocery stores, pharmacies. Like, and what I'm really confused about is why is toilet paper so important?
Because, like, if you run out of toilet paper, like, if you can't leave the house or something, like, I mean, get pretty nasty. If you can't go to the store and you have to stay at home, like, what will you do?
Yeah, not just that, like, everybody is hogging bread now.
I mean, you can do a lot with bread.
Yeah.
It is.
And they're doing the same thing with chicken, too, I've seen. Like, and eggs and milk, water, hand sanitizer, hand soap. I understand the hand soap and hand sanitizer, but, all these other stuff, I just still don't understand that.
I really just keep making memes about it.
Yeah,
on
that's...
my meme page.
Yeah, but anyways, we can change subjects if you want.
Sure.
Forget this coronavirus crap and all the media that's scaring people with it. All the pessimists, whatever you like to call it. Because we're here on the Titanic, we're here on a cruise.
Yeah,
we are away.
Lit.
We are years away from that stupid virus. So, how you liking this cruise?
I'm kind of anxious. I have seasickness, but other than the anxiety and seasickness, I mean, it's pretty chill.
Yeah, it is nice.
Kind of wish we would just stop at some islands and get off the cruise so I can walk around and get some fresh air.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing though, I don't know. I don't know if there's any islands unknown. Because, I mean, all I see is water everywhere.
Yeah, like, we're really out there in the ocean.
Yeah. Like, I believe this is I don't know which ocean this is. I believe it's the Pacific, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's Atlantic. I'm not too sure about that. But I just know we're in an ocean. Obviously, I mean, look around you. There's no land. It's all blue water. So, yeah. And, another thing about the Titanic is, actually, that reminds me of, shouldn't, like, if it was, like, cold out, like, when did the Titanic actually set sail?
I have no idea. I'm not a big history person.
I'll search it up on my time phone. Let's see. When did the Titanic set sail? Oh, it was April 10th, 1912. So it's actually 1912 or at. Made a sudden goof on things. I don't know. Or I don't know. This is so confusing. Maybe it's like an alternate universe and they set sail 2 years earlier. I'm not too sure. Like, this gets really confusing sometimes.
I agree.
But it set sail, like, well, in our universe at least, it set sail on April 10th, 1912, which was on its maiden voyage from Southampton, England to New York, which was April 14th to the 15th.
How long did the cruise last?
It was, it says it was like from April 14th to the 15th, and the boat actually sank, you know.
Shoot, bro, we gotta get off this ship.
Oh, no worries. after going through history, then the actual time we went to, we can. I'm sure we'll be out of here before it sinks.
We can probably just time hop before like the boat crashes.
Yeah. Yeah, but man, that's crazy. Next podcast, we're gonna be in the 19th century. Like, I think we're gonna start hopping centuries now instead of decades. Now, we're not gonna do every century. We're just gonna do like maybe a few more centuries, and then we'll head back. Because I don't know, like the further you go back, I feel like it could be dangerous in a way. Because like I said before, and like in the Western you can get shot, or like in the 1700s. I'm not sure what was in the 1700s, but I don't know, it just doesn't sound safe. And then medieval times, you got, well, there weren't guns, so that's one good thing, I guess, but, you know, they got bow and arrows, they got swords, knives, all those weapons. Start a freaking crusade in the medieval times, but anyways, yeah, that's the plan for the rest of the podcast. I feel like I've said this before, but this is the last time I'm talking, I'm gonna say it. So, in the Titanic, you know how it sank?
Yes.
How?
An iceberg.
That's right. From a freaking iceberg. And did you know, there's a Titanic 2 that's gonna set sail?
When's that?
I believe it is It says the new sale date is sometime late in 2022. So wow. That's about 2 years from it. Or not 2 years. 2 years from 2 years in our time, but for us, like where we're at, that's about 102 years from now. So there hasn't been a second Titanic in 100 years since that date. Well, actually 98 if you're counting our universe, but in this universe it's 102. So, yeah, that's something that's going on in the future. And it says, are there still bodies in the Titanic? And it said only 340 bodies were recovered after sinking of the ship. Of the roughly 1,500 people killed in the disaster, about 1,160 bodies remain lost. The ghostly shoes and boots scattered around the wreck would also suggest that human remains may be buried inside sealed and inaccessible areas of the wreck. So, could that mean it is haunted? Like spirits of some of the people that were on the boat? Or is that just, or are those just dead bodies?
Probably just saying that to make it more like interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, Jack and Rose are not real characters. We didn't have... No, I guess not. So there was no Leonardo DiCaprio and, what's her name? What's the actress name was on it? And, yeah, I guess the Titanic's still underwater in the future. Yeah, I don't know, I guess it'll remain underwater till the world ends or something.
It's not gonna disintegrate the pieces of the Titanic?
I don't think so. Because remember, the Pearl Harbor is also underwater, and I think it's all still in one piece, just sunk to the ground. with holes and stuff, you know.
Bro, I really just want to like go explore like and scuba dive the Titanic.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Except wouldn't the water be cold? Because, you know, they had an iceberg and the water was freezing.
Oh, yeah, it'd probably be cold.
Yeah.
But, I mean, surfers wear, like, protective suits against the cold, but it'd probably melt the suit right off. It's so cold.
Yeah, and keep in mind, too, this was in April. And this was, like, around the springtime, surprisingly. And it was still cold, so maybe this was, like, in the north area, I believe, if it was that cold. Because if it was in the south, then there's no way it'd be freezing. You know, south going, you know, they always say, I'm flying south for the winter just to get away from the cold. So it's got to be somewhere like north of the globe.
The North Pole.
I wouldn't say that north, but it's still in like the north area. Because the North Pole is like what? Antarctica? So yeah. And what's the South Pole? Wouldn't that be like a... Would that be like a hot area? You think? Like what could it be? Like a desert?
Yeah, I was gonna say a desert.
Yeah. But I've never heard much about people talking about a South Pole. Like, everybody always talks more about the North Pole because, you know, when Christmas time, everyone talks about Santa Claus.
From the North Pole. South Pole's for lamos.
Are you kidding me? Why would I want to go to the North Pole? That place is freezing. I hate the cold. I want to go south.
I love the cold. I'd rather be cold than hot.
Really?
Yeah, if summer was like in the winter, I'd like the summer like a lot better. But that'd be pretty cool if you could go like swimming in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be freezing though. Oh, and I guess you'll like this cruise trip since the ocean's a little cold, like winter.
Yeah, I can do some Wim Hof.
Yeah.
Do some cold activities.
I still love I still love the summertime. Cause you know, school's out. You can go out swimming.
Yeah.
You can...
Last year though, like my pool was like 100 degrees one day because it was that hot outside.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I literally almost got dehydrated swimming.
Really? And didn't we go in the pool one time when it was like kind of cold?
Yeah.
We took a nice cold swim. And when was that? Like, was that like May or June or April?
Yeah.
Maybe May. May seems right to me, but I'm not too sure. Forgot. So, yeah, hopefully 2020 will get better once the stupid virus is gone and when people will calm down. Because, I don't know,
the virus will probably never go away. Like, it's just gonna be like the flu, like, but it's not gonna be like, oh, everybody has the coronavirus. It's just gonna be like, oh, it's 6 season, you know, people have the coronavirus, but people are gonna realize it's not that bad of a thing.
Yeah.
And then they'll calm down once they realize that.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people think this could be biblical, this virus spreading around.
Like the mark of the beast.
I mean, maybe, but I'm not too sure. But,
yeah, I think it could very much be biblical.
Because what if You never know. It could just be God tapping us on the shoulder, reminding us He's still in control here, not mankind.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Maybe it's part of His judgment. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it is probably biblical.
Yeah. Anyways, I wonder. We got back to the coronavirus again. I mean, I don't know what else to talk about for Titanic. I don't know. It seemed like it'd be nice to go to Titanic. That's why I originally was gonna go straight to the 1880 after 1920, but then like I saw like one or two good topics for 1910, and the Titanic was the main one. Another one, World War II, started in 1910. No, not bleh. World War One. I meant. Now I'm not sure how. Do you think people panicked about World War One or two? Maybe.
Yeah, there is panic.
Just like how they are with coronavirus.
Yeah, or we could call it the sicko mode virus, because everybody's going sicko mode.
Yeah. Time to go sicko mode. You're gonna catch a fat dub. I don't know what I'm saying. It's just a quote from Ballad of the N-Word. I watched that movie a bunch of times. It's so good. Like, it's so funny how what if like every movie's turned into a meme like that? Like that'll be a whole genre.
Dude, I want to make a meme out of the Terminator.
Ooh, yeah. And I'm currently working on one too. I'm doing like a meme version of Avengers Infinity War, but it's gonna be called Avengers War of the N-Word. And then obviously I'm gonna do Endgame after that. Now, I'm not sure what the title will be for that yet. It might be just the N-Word games.
How much space does it take up to download? How do you download a movie?
It's a pretty big file, and plus Endgame's a 3-hour movie, so that's gonna take even longer.
Maybe I should just like do that with SpongeBob or something, because I wanna do this so bad. Like I feel inspired to like make something funny, but like
Yeah.
I don't have the space on my computer, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah, I should totally get a fancy computer like mine. And I still have like a bunch of stuff from other videos I made that I haven't deleted. I got so much crap in my files.
Dude,
like,
you know what I want to do? Sorry for interrupting. You know what I want to do after this?
What?
Make Ballad of Sesame Street.
Ballad of Sesame Street?
Yeah, like something like N-Word Street? I don't know. Like something about Sesame Street, like that'd be so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, like maybe. I mean, I don't know if
And we have like Oscar the Groucho when we show him and be like Filthy Frank saying, "Know your place, trash." We could make it pretty funny.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not too sure about that, but sure, if you want to do it.
Definitely gonna do it.
So yeah, I guess we got some plans for after we're done with this time travel trip. I mean, we got some movies coming out. Well, I guess movies are delayed because coronavirus too.
Really?
Yeah, with this fancy time phone, you can look up news from the future. Because remember, it's all time travel. It's a time phone.
Man, I really don't want to go back to the present where the coronavirus is, because so many problems.
Yeah, and you can't even go anywhere because of the virus. All sporting events canceled, and Disney World's closed.
Wait,
I mean,
Disney World is closed?
Yeah, Disney World and Disneyland. And I watched I saw SmackDown last night from it was from March 13th, 2020. And they were at the Performance Center for SmackDown, and the arena was empty. Nobody was there. It was just the wrestlers. It was so like it was kind of quiet and awkward. A little funny at the same time. Like Triple H was being so he's really good on commentary. If you're like a wrestling fan, like you'd have to go check it out. He was fiddling around with the camera a bit, messing with Michael Cole. It was kind of funny. And they showed the Elimination Chamber match during like a period of the whole show, because I guess they didn't have much planned. Like like they literally showed the whole match, which is on the WWE Network. So if anything, that's a win for all the people who can't get the network. Anyone's like, oh, I can't get the network, it's cheap. Oh, what if it's a scam? What if it's Well, there you go. There's a free match you can watch on SmackDown from Elimination Chamber. But I have the network, so that part was kind of boring because I already knew what happened. So I skipped that part. So yeah, like as I'm in the past, I really do keep updates with like what's going on in the future. Like there's so much stuff you can do like with this phone. Like it's amazing. It's like what if this phone was sometime like further into the future? You know, like it's I'm really impressed with just how technology's gotten.
Yeah, I honestly I usually stay off my phone because there's just like so much toxicity I don't need in.
Yeah, and there's so much. Yeah, and there's so much talk about the virus. But yeah, I remember when I first got this time machine, I thought this was like a button or something. But I picked it up. I tried like pushing it or something to see what it does, and nothing happened, and like a screen popped up, and I was like, wait a minute, is this a phone? Is this seriously a phone? And then like I started searching stuff up, and it was looking at stuff from the future, and I was like, dude, this is epic. I can keep updated what's going on in the present while I'm in the past. Because remember, you can't like necessarily go back to where you left, or else you'll run into your other self. So you have to go back to like the present time. Like this video will be uploaded on March 14th, 2020. Say if this was the last podcast, and we'd have to go back to March 14th instead of going back in December when we started. So, yeah. And with this phone, I can keep looking at the date so that I'll know when we can go back, so we don't create another paradox. Cuz I know one podcast with Volcamaphone, he said like a paradox isn't really a problem, but what if that was only not a problem in his universe, or the universe we were in? Because we travel alternate universes too. Remember, every time we travel,
like
so
everybody has their own universe.
Yeah, apparently, like in this, there's like, I guess there's like infinite universes. So so that still concerns me about like making a paradox. So we'll have to go back to the right time whenever we're done. So yeah, that's just another thing. But if you could visit an island, where would you go though?
Jamaica.
Isn't that like Africa somewhere there? In the African continent?
I don't believe
It's
so.
seems like it'd be around there.
I think it's in the Caribbean.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know. I'll look it up on my thing.
Yeah. But
Jamaica is in North America.
oh, seriously?
Yeah, for real, man.
Wow, I didn't know that. Whereabouts in North America? Does it say like the whereabouts? Like is it near the United States? Is it Canada? But yeah, I did not know that. But if I had to go to island, probably one of the islands in Hawaii. Hawaii seems like be a nice place to visit. But I'd like to go to Hawaii sometime in the past though, because I don't know if I'd be too fond about Hawaii in the present time.
Why is that?
Uh, I don't know. Probably because, well, one, the virus, and then, people, I don't know, just how people changed. Like, if I went back to when my parents went there on their honeymoon, I'd probably go around there, because they said, like, I believe they said they were there for 2 weeks, but they said it was a very nice, relaxing, fun trip, and the islands were beautiful. So, if anything, I'd probably go back to, like, I believe that was the 80s or 90s. I don't remember the exact year, they didn't tell me. But, yeah, that's probably where I'd go if I wanted to go on an island. So,
Or maybe go to Fiji.
where's Fiji?
Not sure about that either. But some like tropical island would be pretty. Wait, is Antarctica an island?
I'm not sure. I don't know, honestly. Good question. I think it's a continent, so I don't think so.
What about Greenland? Is that an island?
Gremlin?
Greenland.
Oh, Greenland? I don't know. I don't know about that either.
If there was an island that was super cold, yeah, I'd probably like to go there.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you like the cold stuff.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Greenland. It's the world's largest island, located between the Arctic and the Atlantic Oceans, east of the Canadian Arctic archipelago. It is an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. So yeah, it actually is the island. It's the biggest island ever. It's a territory, it looks like. And we got a lot of fancy names here. Down here. Oh yeah, Iceland. Iceland, I've heard a bit about Iceland, like...
Ooh, that sounds like an island
mainly...
I like.
Yeah. I think that's mainly like a country where, like, most of the people are white. Like, I don't think a lot of black people are there. It's like, there's more whites in Iceland, from what I've heard. But who knows, in this day and age, I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Or in the present day and age, I should say.
I like to be somewhere very diverse. I don't know, it's a diverse dude.
Yeah. I'm not too much of a diverse man, honestly, but if that's what you like, then yeah, it's cool. Okay, I actually want to do a little. I actually want to do a little research on Iceland. Oh, that's also an island.
That looks like Sweden, is it?
Oh, the flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does a little bit. Yeah, it's a Nordic island nation. It is defined by its dramatic landscape with volcanoes, geysers, hot springs, and lava fields. Massive glaciers are protected in Vatnajökull and national parks. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm just sounding retarded at this point. Most of the population lives in the capital, Reykjavik, which runs on geothermal power and is home to the National and Saga museums, tracing Iceland's Viking history. I've heard a few things about Vikings. There is a frick. Oh, brain fart. I'm sorry, but there is a wrestler. There's a couple wrestlers who are actually Viking.
Really?
Yeah, there's a women wrestler that's Viking, and then I think there's a couple of men wrestlers who are as well. They're called like the War Raiders or the Viking Raiders, and then the women wrestler that's a Viking is Sarah Logan. And I guess that's basically their gimmick. I guess is being a Viking when they actually are in real life. Oh yeah, it fits them, I guess. That's another thing I like talking about. Like what? I wonder if like is there like any gimmicks that haven't been like a thing yet? Like if you wanted to be a wrestler, like what would be a good gimmick that's like original that nobody's used yet?
What's a gimmick?
Like your persona, your like character. Basically like your personality, like what, like for example, The Undertaker, he plays a creepy, one of the scary guys, like tells people rest in peace, the dead man.
I can think of one.
Kind of like a horror gimmick.
Furry.
A furry? You come out as a furry?
Persona sounds a lot like fursona, so I just thought of furry.
So, like, if you were a wrestler, you'd come out as a furry?
Yeah, and I just give lots of people cuddles like the furries.
There's a similar... It sounds kind of similar to Bailey's gimmick. Her old gimmick, like, she was known as the Hugger. With, these bloat... I don't know what you call those things, like the balloon floaty things that like pop up on her entrance. Blimps, or I don't know if, I don't think they're blimps, but they're like, one of those things that blow, that they blow up. No. You go by like car wash or something, and you got one of those blowing things. Just
yeah. I know.
You know what I'm talking about.
They always have
what
a
do they call
smiley
them?
face on them.
Yeah, those things.
I can't think of the name, but I know what you're talking about.
Anyways, they're called the Bailey Buddies. That used to be her. That used to be her gimmick, but she changed. She's. It looks like she's entered an emo phase. Now.
E-girl phase.
Yeah. Like her hair looks kind of emo. Almost like it's black and the hair's like all straight like this. Like it's... I don't know how to describe it with words, but if I can describe it with but like if I show you, but this is audio only, unfortunately, so I couldn't really describe it word wise. It's like, but if you're like a wrestling fan, like you know what I mean though. Like, if you still watch it,
Yo, you
because
can use the restroom real quick.
yeah, there's probably a restroom somewhere on the boat. I mean, they gotta have restrooms. I mean, come on, people have to go to the bathroom, or you could just pee in the just pee in the ocean or something.
BRB, chief.
Okay. Have fun. So. So yeah, but then like one day I took a break. I took a break from wrestling in December. It was like right after I went to a Survivor Series show. And yeah, and then September, no, not September, that December was yeah, that's when me and Joe, that's when I went to, okay, actually, I kind of lied to you guys in the beginning. I was actually the one that went to the Comic-Con, and Joey wasn't there, because, I don't know, you guys probably know the truth after the trailer that popped up. I went a little bit into the past, and I thought, what if we could make podcasts out of these? So then I went back to the future, and I went to like Joey's location, and I guess he was in my neighborhood for some reason with that Disney hat. And the reason I had that mask, it was not because of the coronavirus. It was because, I don't know, it was something cool. I thought it'd be cool to wear. Something cool, like a little gimmick. You know. But anyways, yeah, I showed up at the hills where he was at for some weird reason. And I just saw him there. He's like, "Where's Butcha? I live in a constant state of fear without my best friend." And I was like, "Whoa, is that Mr. Gisnip?" I just started calling him Mr. Gisnip because of that stupid hat he was wearing. And I told him, "Yeah, dude, what if we went back and did podcasts?" I know, because I went back and I know some truth that now a lot of people may or may not understand. And he's like, "Yeah, I am down, Chief." And then, yeah, that's when we started the going into the past. Did you find the restroom alright?
Yeah.
What was it like in there? Was it clean?
Yeah, much cleaner than 2020. People actually had respect.
Yeah. It's why I like the past, because, like, I don't know, people were more clean. You know, people kept their hands washed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was just... I decided to tell them the actual truth about how this time travel started. Is you know, I originally told people we were at the Comic-Con, but I was just there by myself. And then I picked you. And yeah, I went to the past a little bit, and I picked you up, and then, so, "Hey, dude, you gotta come back with me," and then we're here. Probably the reason I didn't want to tell you guys, because, I don't know, some of the stuff I've seen is a little dark, and I thought I thought I'd just say, okay, well, I just tell them we both found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically what's going on. Because, I don't know, but because the truth comes out eventually, and I didn't want to. I don't know. I feel like I should keep it a secret for a bit, but like I feel like now I should just end up explaining what actually happened. So yeah, that's what's going on. So, did you happen to find anything interesting while you were searching the restroom? Like anything fancy?
They got sushi.
Oh, really?
Got nice food.
I didn't think they'd have sushi back then. I feel like it'd be more American.
We're on the water, so
American or English or England food.
They have tea. A lot of tea.
Well, of course, we all know the British love tea. Or what if it's French food? I fart in your general direction. Monty Python, what a classic. You know that movie I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie's pretty bizarre, but it's really funny. My friend showed me that like 2 years ago. It was about like King Arthur, the Knights of the Round Table, and their quest was to get the Holy Grail, and they keep running into like plot twists or something, and that's it. They just keep running in all these comical stuff, and then like when they actually get to the castle with the Grail, they don't actually get it. The French end up getting it, and then out of nowhere, a whole army of knights just come. I don't know where, but they all charged to go after the Grail, but then a bunch of policemen just came and arrested all of them, and then it just ended. And after that was just 4 minutes of music. So yeah, that's basically the Holy Grail. And we actually watched that at my school once.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, my teacher said she really likes that movie. So we watched it like last year in my sophomore year. So yeah, that was funny. But yeah, sometimes and everybody gets caught up with their work. It hasn't always been like the end of 9 weeks. We just randomly go and see a movie. Like we did a few times last year. We just let's see, I believe this year we only saw one movie so far. But or I don't know, maybe we didn't. Because remember, I've been gone for a while. I've been in the past. So I have no idea what's going on. I probably have so much work to do when I get back. But you know what? It'll be done eventually. Everything usually turns out okay in the end, eventually.
Yeah.
It always has. So I'll get through it. Yeah. I will get through it. But let's see, I believe and yeah, the sun, I can see the sun is starting to lower down, like it's starting to turn to nighttime. And I think in maybe 10-20 minutes from now is when this place hits the iceberg, so we might have to get going here pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely. I have too much to live for.
Yeah. And we don't want to risk getting the time machine, like, in the water, or when it starts sinking, it'll just collapse and fall into the water. We don't want to get too risky here now. But we still have 10 minutes though, because every podcast has to be like an hour before we hit another timeline. But yeah, next podcast we are going to be in the 19th century, in the year 1880. We'll be in the westerns. I always wanted to know what it's like to be a cowboy, be Sheriff Woody in these parts. You know what I'm saying, brother?
I know what you're saying, brother.
But we'll save that bit for next podcast. So, yeah, one of my topics was actually going to be about World War One, but I don't know, all these wars make it seem maybe a little depressing.
Yeah.
So I figured the Titanic's nice. Why don't we do something that's more decent and nicer? Make it more clean instead of dark. So I originally was gonna do some talking about World War One, but then I thought, you know what? Why don't we spread some more positive, something that's nicer?
Yeah, we need some
So I
positive
thought,
vibes, especially for the people listening in 2020.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I thought, why don't we just do the Titanic? The Titanic is a very nice, huge vessel. It is very historical, but not just historical. I mean, I know it's tragic at the end, but when you're on the boat before the tragedy, it really isn't that bad. It's really a nice boat to be on.
Blissful.
Yeah. And especially with Titanic 2 that's coming in 2022, I figured, why don't we do a little throwback, a little Titanic throwback. I've seen the movie once. Isn't that 3 hours long? The James Cameron's Titanic movie.
I haven't really gotten into the Titanic, but
Yeah.
I think it's about 3 hours long.
Yeah, and I had to cover my eyes once on the scene where Rose is naked, and Leonardo DiCaprio just he's making a painting of her in the nude, and
Yeah.
I had to cover my eyes for that scene. But for the rest of the part, it was, yeah, either besides that, it was a emotional but good movie, I'd say. I could see why it's now the third grossing movie after Avatar and Endgame beat it. But yeah, there's also going to be another Avatar movie, which I believe is 2021 or two, I think. And it's James Cameron wants to beat Endgame, wants to take back its throne. But I don't know if that will happen. Because remember, I think the reason people wanted to go see Avatar was because it was a new experience in a theater. I believe it was something like that, with 3D effects, and thought, ooh, what if we went and saw Avatar this? It's got 3D effects and it's got a whole new experience in filmmaking. And I believe that's why it made so much money. But with Avatar 2 coming out, I'd say the only way it could beat Endgame is if, like, you try to come up with a whole new filming experience with, I don't know, like, make it feel like you're in a movie. I mean, I'm not too sure. But again, like, what if Marvel could pull off something that could beat Avatar 2 in the future? If that does happen. But, I don't know, with movies now, I don't see that happening. Unless he does something that's completely out of the blues, it's completely never been done before. I don't see how Avatar 2 can beat Endgame. But, yeah, if you go back to the other grossing movies, Black Panther made a lot of money. It actually made more money than Infinity War, surprisingly. Which was crazy. And then I think the other Avengers movies were also like the top 10 grossing worldwide. So, you know, Marvel's like really taking over. They're really beating the crap out of DC with movies. DC doesn't really have much, like, but the only thing DC could have better than any Marvel movie is obviously The Dark Knight, because that was a great film. Like, with you had Heath Ledger, probably known as the best Joker of all time besides Joaquin Phoenix, with Christian Bale as Batman. Because I remember Christian Bale said Heath Ledger, nobody really cared about Heath Ledger being Joker, and now he's like the best Joker that's ever been made. And it's like, what if that's the same thing with Robert Pattinson? Because I know he's going to be the next Batman, which is this June. Or wait, no, I think it's June 2021. The Batman that's coming out. I saw like the teaser for like his suit, the new suit, in the Batmobile. And I wouldn't say, I don't think he'll be as good as Christian Bale, but he might be good. I mean, it's hard to say yet. I mean, there's not an actual trailer. It was just a teaser. So, I don't know. We'll just have to see, I guess, how that's gonna work. But I can see DC's really trying to really step up their game. Like, Aquaman. I thought Aquaman was a good movie. Wonder Woman was kind of good. I like Batman vs. Superman was alright. But Justice League, yeah, I heard Justice League was it was a movie. It was just a movie. I wouldn't necessarily say good, but I don't know. It was something, I guess. I guess Henry Cavill's done playing Superman, and obviously Ben Affleck's done being Batman. So I don't know who's gonna be the next Superman, but I know who's gonna be the next Batman. And I guess Gal Gadot is continuing to be Wonder Woman, and then I don't know about Jason Momoa. I guess he's still gonna be Aquaman. I'm not sure. And also the Flash, I don't know yet. I don't know if anyone does. And another thing is, when are they gonna add more superheroes, just like in Marvel? Like, you know, the first Avengers, there was only 6. And then Age of Ultron, they added Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. But then Quicksilver died. And then you go to Infinity War, and they got a lot more heroes. Like, they had Black Panther now, they had Doctor Strange, they had Spider-Man. They had all these new characters. And it's just all building up to the end game. And you look at Endgame, and is really bone chilling in the portals when everybody came back and assembled to beat Thanos. So yeah, that was incredible. But I'd say we're about done with this podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, oh shoot. Yeah, we better get going now because I can see the iceberg. It's like right there. We better head out. This has been David the Butcher here.
Your boy Mazzi.
And yeah, we'll see you in the westerns, boy. See ya.
Peace.
Yep.